Guys, welcome once again to another episode of Scott Talks Law. So in this episode, we're going to talk about corporate governance under company law. And corporate governance just donates to the system of rules, practices, and policies upon which a company is ruled, governed, controlled, and directed. So this is just the management of a company, or how the company is managed. It is managed through corporate governance, and we've got some certain principles that guide corporate governance. And these are principles like fairness, these are principles like responsibility, these are principles like risk management, uh, these are principles like accountability and transparency that guide corporate governance. So we've got like the benefits of corporate governance. If a company is managed and governed in the right way or right manner, the company will be able to raise capital. It will be able to reduce losses, financial losses. The company will be able to build trust with the investors. The investors will be aware about the company directors. The company just promote the transparency of the company, because the investors will like to invest in a company that is transparent, in a company that the leadership is good, the directors are known, the management is well known, the secretary, that a company that just has the effective governance, it will attract investors. So we're also going to talk about the role of board of directors in corporate governance, and you'll find that the board of directors are like the main stakeholders or the direct stakeholders in regards to corporate governance, and they perform their role like the main role is just to oversee that company, provide management guidelines and policies, and oversee the interests of shareholders within a particular company. So we got other roles like hiring and firing senior executives within the particular company, overseeing the audit, monitoring the financial accounts of the company, or the auditing of books of accounts of that particular company, and just contributing to the building of the brand of that particular company. And they can also act as a major role in merging of a company, where the merging is needed. They will also participate in those circumstances of merging, and they just entirely have the main role of just giving out policies and directions and planning. They contribute to the planning, future planning of the company, and whatever the goals of the company are to be, and how these goals are supposed to be made. That is the work of the directors. So you also have the role of independent members of the company and their roles in corporate governance. And independent board members are the persons who are appointed by the directors of a company, and they are appointed, and the shareholders also appoint them. So they are recruited by the board of directors, and they are appointed by the shareholders of the company. And these are people who have got some certain skills in some certain fields, but they do not contribute to the general affairs of the company or the day-to-day activities of the company. So these are members who have just a specific role to perform. They can provide guidance, they can contribute to the management of the company, they can provide report mechanism, they can report some certain activities that are of fraud and whatever, and they're just there to just give their advice according to the skills that they have in different fields that will help or will be of beneficial benefit to the company. So you've got also the board of committees and their role in corporate governance, and here we've got some specific committees and the role of those committees in corporate governance. Like we have the governance committee and its role, we have got the financial committee and its role, we've got the strategy committee and its role in corporate governance, the risk management committee and its role in corporate governance. So we got also the role of the secretaries, corporate secretaries, and their role in corporate governance. and you'll find that the secretaries are just there to give like help. So they first, before go to look at the independent members, they just like the assist the directors uh, in the that's like act like assistant to the director, and the corporate secretaries are the ones who like provide the secretarial services to the company. So they like write minutes during the general meetings, and we got their function that was stated by Lord Denny in a particular case, Pandorama, I think that's the name of the case, but we're going also to look at that case. They are supposed to enter into contracts, they assign those contracts in behalf of the company. They write meetings, they write or prepare papers for circulation of the company. They give notice on how when the general meetings will be attended to the shareholders. They are stakeholders, they're the ones who give those reports, and they also take part in the planning of the company, and they report other activities that they are supposed to do or report. So the corporate governance has been defined by the Court of Corporate Governance Practices for Assurance and Security of the Public. So it is this Code of Corporate Governance and Practices for the Assurance of Securities and securities to the public that defines corporate governance, and it defines corporate governance as the process and structure used to direct and manage the business and affairs of a company towards enhancing business prosperity in corporate accountability within the ultimate objective of realizing long-term shareholder value, risk taking into account the interest of other shareholders. So it's just the process of managing the company that will ensure that there is shareholder benefits and the shareholder value, realizing long-term shareholder values, but also taking into account the other stakeholders within a particular company. So it's the structure of direct management of the business affairs of the company. So the board of directors, there are primary direct stakeholders influencing corporate governance. So they are primary direct stakeholders, and they are governing bodies of a corporation. So they are elected by stakeholders to represent their interest. So stakeholders will come together and elect this board of directors to represent their interest in a particular company. So the main functions of this board of directors is to set strategies, oversee the management, and protect the interests of shareholders and stakeholders. So they make decisions as a fiduciary on behalf of the company. In Aberdeen Railways Company versus Blakey Bison, Blakey Bios, in the case of Aberdeen, Aberdeen Railways Company versus Blakey, Lord Cranworth described directors as a body to whom is delegated the duty to managing the general affairs of the company. So this is the body that manages the general affairs of the company. So if you want to inquire on how the company is managed, the first step to take is just to go to this board of directors, because they are the main people, the main overseers of governance within a particular company. So they are this is the main body of governance of a company, the main body that governs or directs a company. So its role in corporate governance include they help the company to define its objective, establish many major goals, and stay focused on its or to provide annual budgets or to approve annual budgets. So they set goals, they make sure that these goals are achieved, and they approve annual budgets. They hire and dismiss senior executive persons. They determine the executive compensations, and they establish this executive compensation is like when you have incurred losses in when as like when you have you, when you place shares in a company, you're supposed to profit from those shares, but you'll find that not everyone profits from those shares, and some people will incur losses from the shares that they have placed in a company. So they are supposed to by determining executive compensation is determining on how this executive will be compensated, or how these losses that you have incurred will be compensated, because you're supposed to earn profit. The purpose of coming up to a company is earning and sharing profit. So oversee budgets and ensuring the proper funding when significant resources are required, overseeing the budget, and monitoring and making necessary changes for financial accounting activities and safeguard companies' financial assets. They provide monetary services, and they make necessary changes for financial accounting and activities. Establish companies' dividends and policies, including declaring dividends and pay cuts. So they direct mergers, they institute policies for stock options, they lead crisis management effects when necessary. So they also lead crisis management effects, or on how to manage crisis, their role to manage crisis that occur within a company. Build and maintain a strong band of the company. Consider the interest of shareholders in decision-making processes. They're supposed to consider the interest of shareholders. So we also have the board of committee and the role in corporate governance, and these are groups that support the board of directors in carrying out their responsibility and proving the effectiveness of the board. They perform advisory and monitoring facilities to the board, and they are independent from the board of directors. They are not part of the board of directors. Their functions, we have the governance, financial services, risk services, compliance services, technical services, strategic services, human resource services, investment services, remuneration services, and nomination services. And each service that I've mentioned has got its own committee. So if that committee performs that services, that one is the committee that is responsible for that service. Like the governance committee will give governance services to the company. The risk management committee will try and come up with management measures to the risk that's supposed to be taken for the company. The financial committee, the one that is responsible for the financial services of the company, and the investment committee, the investments of the company. Remuneration committee is in charge of remuneration. So we also have the role of corporate secretaries in corporate governance. And corporate secretaries, these are senior executives who ensure that a company adheres to legal and regulatory requirements. In Kenya, the Company Act requires that every registered company appoints a corporate secretary. So every registered company in Kenya must appoint a corporate secretary. A corporate secretary must be there. So their function is to ensure that the main function is to ensure that the company adheres to the legal and regulatory requirements. So the Panorama Developments Limited versus Fidelis Furnishing Fabrics Limited, 1971. Lord Dennis provided the role of company secretary as stated. The company secretary with executive duties and responsibilities. He is the regulatory maker or responsible. So signing contracts and entry into contracts. And we also have the Mwongozo Code of Governance for State Corporation 2015, and provides for the governance to the board. So the function of corporate secretary, according to the Mwongozo Code of Governance, is to provide guidance to the board and duties and responsibilities on matters of governance. So they can give guidance on duties and responsibilities or on matters of governance. They can assist the board in induction and training, updating, and preparation of a work plan, the board's work plan, board evaluation and governance audit. So they are supposed to like assist the board in induction and training services. They can provide training services and how to induct new members within a particular company. They can provide updating services to update the company, giving them day-to-day updates like notices on whatever. They can prepare work plans. They're supposed to prepare the work plans that will guide their particular company, and board evaluations, governance, and audit. So they ensure timely preparation and circulation of board and committee papers. So they're supposed to prepare these board papers and ensure that these papers are circulated, and ensure timely circulation of board and committee minutes. So they're also supposed to ensure that these minutes, they prepare these minutes and they circulate these minutes, and they take minutes of the board meetings during board meetings and general meetings. So it's supposed to take minutes during general meetings. So they ensure board members are aware of all relevant laws affecting the organization. So all laws must be known to the members by these secretaries. They facilitate effective communication between organizations and shareholders. So they're supposed to facilitate effective communications between shareholders and the organization. So the shareholders must know, must be aware of any information that is passed to them through these secretaries. So they ensure annual returns are properly filed with relevant authorities. So they also file annual returns. They are the ones who are responsible for filing the annual returns of a company, and they ensure that the notice of a general, the issuing of notice of to the members concerning the general meetings. So those are the people or the management within corporate governance and their role. Looked at the board, the role of directors and their role in corporate governance, the role of independent members and their role in corporate governance, the role of committees, board of committees and their role in corporate governance, and the role of secretaries and their role in corporate governance. So that is the end of my lecture. Subscribe for more episodes are coming. Stay in touch, and come on you guys, we're gonna do this